So, I know this isn't a part of the video, but I just wanted to make a huge complaint. Getting those little 800 storage count boxes that used to be for $1 is like impossible to find. I've been looking for a storage count because I obviously am a man of culture when it comes to Yu-Gi-Oh! And they're like $5 a box. What the fuck is going on here? Are they made of gold or something? What's going on with you guys? TheCaliEffect, king of games here. And today, oh no, what are you doing, baby? We are going to be making a hand trap tier list for the August 2021 format. Now, a lot of things have changed inside of this August 2021 format, namely more combo decks becoming in the top contender meta. That should change how you want to address your hand trap situation. So of course, in this tier list, I'm going to be giving you guys the rundown of the top hand traps of this format, as well as the, oh no, what are you doing, baby? You might as well just be giving your opponent a win if you're playing these. Of course, if you want to see more content like this, then use your 5th summon to Nibiru, that subscribe button, but also be sure to hit that notification bell because, well, you already know. We just too strong. And speaking of strong, if you guys want to test this hand trap theory out, you can go ahead and join my Discord and jump into the tournament that's coming up. I actually even have a series on Twitch to showcase you guys how to play decks correctly, and possibly it might come to YouTube. Without further ado, let's jump on in and talk about this hand trap tier list. Alright guys, here we are at the hand trap tier list. I am excited to be able to go over every single one of these hand traps and their applications in the meta. But before I do, let's talk about some of the most played decks inside of this format. I have Virtual World, Prank Kids, Rocket Dragon Link, Drytron, BBW, also known as Tri-Brigade, Sky Striker, Salomon Great, and Outlich. This tier list will be based off of those being the top decks in the format, as those are some of the most played decks inside of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Format. Now, of course, if you guys want me to do a best decks in Yu-Gi-Oh! Video, then of course, destroy that subscribe button, but also be sure to hit the notification bell. You gotta hook Cali up, keep them strong, guys. But let's jump on into this tier list. I have Better Be Caught with it all the way to the, oh no, what are you doing, baby? Starting off with our Ally of Justice Cycle Reader. This card is actually only good against one deck and pretty much has only been good against one deck, which is Drytron, and therefore I'm going to have to put it to situational. Now, granted, this card could hit 2 Outlich the Golden Lords and could potentially win the game if it does hit double Outlich the Golden Lords. I just don't see in a world where you siding this card against Outlich, it would get you more results than, you know, you would want, you know, or the results that you want. This card is only good against Drytron, and that's only if Drytron doesn't play enough extenders to make Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. I feel like there are better cards to be siding against Drytron, and Ally of Justice Cycle Reader, while it is a great card, Drytrons are starting to play more flexible builds to allow them to still build a board even when you hit them with devastating cards. Artifact Lancia used to be a Better Be Caught with it Yu-Gi-Oh! Card, and now that I've said it that way, you know where it gotta head to. Artifact Lancia is actually just a really good card. Going over our list of cards against Virtual World, or strategies against Virtual World, this card can be fairly decent. Prank Kids, this card has no effect on. Rocket Dragon Link, not really. The deck can still make boards under Lancia. Drytron, they'll laugh at you. BBW, I mean, that's where you kind of got us. If you just so happen to hit Tri-Brigade with an Artifact Lancia, you just might be drenched in sauce. Unless they have the Tri-Brigade Revolt, and they can still do whatever they want anyways. With that being said, unless your locals is filled with BBWs, which sounds like a dream, then I would strongly suggest against an auto main for Artifact Lancia, seriously consider your meta before placing this card into your main deck, as opposed to you better be caught with it. Ash Blossom and Joy Spring, the big forehead girl. What's going on, big forehead? Are you feet or forehead, guys? Let me know down below in the comment section. TheCaliEffect actually likes feet Ash Blossom better than forehead Ash Blossom. There's a line from Game in a documentary that said it, but that's for something else. I'm going to have to put Ash Blossom into the really, really good category. If there was a really, really good category, I'd have to put Ash in it, but there are some inherent problems with this card. The first thing is that Ash Blossom can either be a very low impact hand trap where you negate an opponent's particular search or special summon and whatnot, and then they just kind of act like it didn't happen. And at its highest point, Ash Blossom is an inconvenience for your opponent. Sometimes it can stop them from performing their full combo, but very, very rare does this card actually end a player's turn against a high-end type deck. With that being said, I have to say that Ash Blossom is really good into this format, but effect negation is king, and that's exactly what this tier list will reflect. Chaos Hunter is an, oh no, what are you doing, baby? Like, oh, I feel so bad for Chaos Hunter because every time we make this tier list, it's situational at best, but in a format where Artifact Delancia isn't good, preventing your opponent from banishing in a summonable monster would be a little worse. Diddy Crow, I believe, was in our underrated category, but now I'm going to have to bring it down to situational. Against the decks that we are looking at, there's not a lot of interactions where Diddy Crow comes up. Now, if Diddy Crow were Psycho Reader, except didn't require a specific attribute, then this card would be God, as hitting BBW multiple Beast Warriors in the graveyard, Beast Warriors, Winged Beasts in the graveyard would be amazing. But against every single other iteration, for the exception of, I guess, Salad and Sky Striker, it's not that great. With that being said, Diddy Crow is fairly situational. I do love that you can activate multiple copies of Diddy Crow in one turn, but that's pretty much where the love stops in this particular format. On the same note, Dimensional Shifter is a, if you can play this card, boy, you better be playing this card. Off the top of my head, decks that can play this card are Anti-Meta, Grin Maju, Thunder Dragon, Madolche. Now, unfortunately, none of these decks are highly played or even meta, but this card literally spanks the entire meta. If you can resolve this card, you probably can win the game. That's just how powerful D-Shifter is. Drone and Lockbird, I have to put into the really good category. I don't think that any of the two best hand trap sideboard cards are as impactful as they were before. We're moving in a really interesting format where cards that normally end an opponent's turn don't necessarily have an effect on the current popular decks. Now, with that being said, Drone and Lockbird does really hurt Drytron. It can hurt Striker. It can hurt Solomon Great. It really ain't doing nothing else against anything else. That's why I think it's a really good card, not necessarily a better be caught with it card, just something you should consider playing. Now, if I were to rank Effect Veiler, I think Effect Veiler is underrated. And this is why I think Effect Veiler is underrated. Effect Veiler has a really nifty interaction that's over cards like Ash Blossom and Joy Spring, because Ash Blossom only negates that effect. Effect Veiler permanently negates that monster effect for as long as it remains on the field, or I'm sorry, for till the end of the turn. So let's say, for example, I'm gonna give you a very, very real situation. You're playing against Tri Brigade, BBW, and they summon Rescue Cat and activate its effect. You Ash Blossom them, they Gamma you, and you lose. You feel bad. But if they summon Rescue Cat and you just go Veiler on the Rescue Cat, they can activate the Rescue Cat, but they won't be able to resolve it, and you get to play around Gamma. Think big brain, guys. Big Brain Drain. The only problem with Effect Veiler is that it can only be activated during the main phase, but the really big upside with Effect Veiler is that you can activate multiples in one turn. I think that it's an underrated Yu-Gi-Oh card. Evenly Matched is just outright godly in this format right now. Look, I literally just said several decks that Evenly Matched would literally destroy. Outlich, Sky Striker, Prank, well, not Prank, I apologize, but Outlich, Sky Striker, Virtual World, they will all feel evenly matched. And there are still a lot of good rogue decks that play a lot of back row that Evenly Matched can address. I feel that Fantastical Dragon Phantasme, if you have the extra deck space or the main board space, is a card you should be maining. Look, every single one of these decks that I just mentioned links. Virtual World, Prank, Rocket Dragon Link, Drytron, BBW, Striker, Salad. Eld, maybe not so much, but the other ones, they link like crazy. This card literally fixes your hand, summon itself as a 2400 body, prevents your opponent from targeting your cards, and then 2400 body. Like, what are we getting here? In my humble opinion, Thanos is just a god card right now, especially if you are playing bricks inside of your deck. as it's the only hand trap that doesn't necessarily provide interaction, but allows you to dig deeper into your sideboard cards or whatever cards that you need to be able to start your turn. Ghost, Spooky Dogwood. I swear, I still feel salty for paying $60 for 3 Dogwood. What the fuck was I thinking? Like, you were supposed to be the next best meta card. Ghost Bell in Haunted Mansion is obviously a really good card, stopping cards like Tri-Brigade Revolt, also stopping Virtual World Zanwu from special summoning. Can stop, oh no, actually, shit. Because like the reason why I'm struggling with Ghost Bell is because it really kills prank kids. Like, if they don't play it right and they go Rocket Ride Effect and you go Ghost Bell, then they just cry. If they go Doodle Doodle Doo and you go Ghost Bell, it sucks. It's good against BBW, or it's pretty good against Virtual World. It kind of just does not have a bad matchup. It's even good against Eld. Like, this might be the strongest generic hand trap right now. Ghost Bell is like really, really nutty, but I don't think that you must play Ghost Bell. Ghostborn Amulet Chill is obviously underrated. I don't know what you guys are thinking. This card is Effect Veiler, but a little bit different, being able to negate a monster, and comes up in time situations, inflicting damage to your opponent. Or if you have a deck that can't necessarily swing for huge amounts of damage, or maybe not enough, then this card can help you put it over. Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit. Oh, yeah, yeah, don't play Ghost Ogre right now. I love Ghost Ogre, but this is just not a Yu-Gi-Oh card you should be playing right now. It has no applications in the current meta. I can't think of a single situation where Ghost Bell would be good. I guess against Salad, if they summon Lady Debug, you can Ghost Bell them, but they shouldn't be playing a lot of Lady Debugs anyways. No material is, no material is situational. And the reason why is because a lot of the monsters that your opponent will summon, they can actually like just use their effects to get around things. And like, so against BBW, they summon a monster, you know material, and then they're like, okay, well, I'll just use its effects. Like, no material doesn't stop monster effects, which is unfair. And there are a lot of times where opponent can just summon multiple monsters and then just ignore the card that you know material. Of course, the heralds are going to be, Purple Light and Green Light are going to be, oh no, what are you doing, baby? There's just not enough impactful spell or trap cards for you to play these cards. And of course, this is a better be caught with the card. If you guys can main Herald, you should be playing Herald. Moving forward, Infinite Impermanence, the card of the hour. Oh my god, Infinite Impermanence just might be the best hand trap in Yu-Gi-Oh! That is versatile enough to be played in every single deck. Now, Thanos actually does, oh, and by the way, I apologize, Thanos isn't good against Virtual World, but Phantasme is probably one of the most high impactful just because it allows you to shuffle, get into the cards that you need. Infinite Impermanence is probably the best form of disruption due to it being generic. Obviously, you can't play Herald in every deck, you can't play Shifter in every deck, but you can play Imperm pretty much in every single Yu-Gi-Oh deck. And we just said effect monster negation is king. Infinite Impermanence is a godly Yu-Gi-Oh card. Now, I'm going to skip over Misk, but we made a tier list and we said Nibiru was situational. It's no longer situational. With Rocket Dragon Link now being susceptible to Nibiru, Prank Kids, being susceptible to Nibiru, Virtual World being susceptible to Nibiru, Drytron being susceptible to Nibiru, Solomon Great also being susceptible to Nibiru. You have quite a few decks where Nibiru can just do a lot of damage in, so consider playing Nibiru if you're seeing a lot of special summon heavy inside of your meta. Cypher and Gear Gamma is it's a really, really good Yu-Gi-Oh card. I don't want to put it in better be caught with it because while it is a great Yu-Gi-Oh card, the difference between Gamma, Effect Veiler, Imperm, and Herald is that like these cards provide you ways to use them at any given time. So example, Effect Veiler can't activate in any given phase, but even if you do control monsters, you can Effect Veiler. It's a useful card. And while Infinite Impermanence isn't a hand trap while you control cards, you can always set it face down. Gamma, you have to control no monsters. So unless you're playing a deck that just does not play monsters, then this card won't always be live unless you can make Lambda. That's, you guys starting to see what I'm doing here? It's a great card, don't get me wrong. It's still effect monster negation, but it's, Saravis is actually, I'll put Saravis as situational. And here's the reason why, guys. This card targets, this card targets, this card targets. There's a lot of targeting in the game, and Saravis, if you are playing Drytron that can get rid of Heralds, maybe consider adding that Saravis to prevent some of your monsters like Vert from being targeted while you try to dig to your Red Eyes Fusion. It's not the most amazing thing, and of course it's not a great Yu-Gi-Oh card right now, but it'll have its situations. Skullmeister is easily an underrated Yu-Gi-Oh card. Oh my god, guys. Whew. So many effects this card can stop. Virtual World, Salomon Great, Sky Striker, Prank Kids. Almost every deck fears this card. Basically what I'm trying to say is that graveyard interaction is really, really good right now. Of course, Ghost Bell or Ghost Winter, and this card's bad, guys. It's just, I don't even remember his name. That's how bad it is. And I hate to say it because I hate to call Yu-Gi-Oh cards bad because all of them in some situation can have a way to shine. This is not the situation though. Do not play this card inside of your deck. Play Extravagances, play Prosperities, play Dogmatic Engine, play anything but Ghost Reaper. You're gonna wind up going against these decks. You're gonna rip a card out of their extra. They're like, you're stupid. I'm just gonna keep playing Yu-Gi-Oh anyways. Extra deck cards are not as impactful as they used to be. Myriota is going to be another, oh no, what are you doing, baby? I know, guys. The dream feels dead with Miradoria, but soon enough, I'm telling y'all, it's gonna come up and it's gonna be in a really good section. I'm not gonna say it's gonna be better be caught with it, but it's gonna be underrated real good soon enough. Soon enough, I'm still holding on to the dream. And of course, Contact C, I'm going to have to put as situational. I kind of feel like I want to put it in good because it's good against Salad from what I can think of right now. It's amazing against BBW. Like after they activate BBW, I'm going to put it in good. After they activate their first Tribrigate monster effect and, you know, do their thing, you can summon this to their side of the field. They can't link off with it. So they're stuck for the rest of the turn. Now, there are ways to play around this card, but that's a really nifty way. Against Prank Kid, it's also a good card because after they link into their Prank Kids monster, you give them this, and if they want to link it off into like a nightmare monster, that's cool and all, but they won't be able to get their Prank Kid monster's effects, and that's basically what you were trying to accomplish anyways. It can screw them up. And lastly is Dama Mama for the Dawn of Majesty set. This is a card you better be caught with, guys. For the looks. Dama Mama is Waifu 2021, guys. This is the card that everybody should play. And the reason why I'm putting this here is because somebody is going to scroll to the end of the video, see Dama Mama as the better be caught with it, and then try to screenshot and post all over social media that TheCaliEffect is an idiot. He doesn't know what he's saying. It's going to be funny. I'm going to laugh because the only reason why this is better be caught with it is because it looks good. Dama Mama is not a good Yu-Gi-Oh card, guys. I've tried my hardest to make her work, especially with effect monster negation being so rampant. I think at best she would be situational. If her effect that gave you benefits from summoning when your opponent summons from the hand was like, I don't know, like special summon a card from your deck or negate another, like if it was anything else other than special summon a monster from your hand, something that you don't need yourself, I think Dama Mama would have been a lot better. Also, if her effect could have been used during any phase, that would have been a lot better. Dama Mama has just a lot of problems with her. And again, I tried to make, I even went so far to make a Shadol Dama Mama deck, and boy, it was popping, guys. The theory was to make App Cologne to be able to, you know, negate a monster effect on the field, and then I can summon Dama Mama at any given time. Or, worst case scenario, I can use App Cologne to negate App Cologne and summon Dama Mama. And on top of that, she's a spellcaster and a light monster, which comes up a lot from when you need to fusion summon into Shut All Construct using your Magistus Invocation or just Shut All Fusion. I thought she was perfect. She was literally like Denko Dolls in 2021, for the exception of every time I drew her, she didn't come up. Well, that is all that I have for today's video. I really hope you guys enjoyed this hand trap tier list. As you guys can see, we have a fairly balanced format where hand traps are not necessarily taking the precedence, but you do need multiples of them in certain decks to be able to win games, unfortunately. Of course, I am dying to hear what other tier lists you guys would like to see. Go ahead and post down below in the comment section. Maybe we make that waifu tier list. But also be sure to check out these videos, as I'll catch you on the next one.